Con. The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, giving all infinite honor and glory and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and blessings and much salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect, who specifically pushed this doctrine, this gospel, wherever ye have been scattered through the four corners of the earth in these last days. To you, Akim, I say, Shalom, a mighty Shalom. Power grid alert. Winter blackouts. Power grid alert. Winter blackouts. So like I've been saying, all across the board of the Brotherhood of Great Millstone, from January 1st up until this current date, I think it's the 28th, all right? It's been just on fire with Bible prophecy, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. So while other things, other prophecies are happening, we got the Civil War that's brewing, okay? The threats that are being made from both ends of Iran and the United States, okay, just to name a few, all right? People are stuck in darkness. People are stuck in utter darkness, man, okay? 2 Timothy 3 and 1, this know also that in the last days, you are in the last days. All the signs are around us. When the disciples was on the Mount of Olives with Yahweh Shai, Peter, Andrew, James, they inquired to know, what shall be the sign of thy coming? Question 1. And then what? The end of an age. Question number 2. When Yahushua was upon being delivered, King Herod was what? Trying to take the Lord out. He knew once the king stepped on the scene, that was it for the ancient Roman Empire. So Yahushua is going to return to the Father, and he left his house to his servants, according to Mark the 13th chapter. And this is the time that we're in. We're past overtime right now, man. Let me get that word perilous real quick, just out of the regular dictionary. All right, because we know what it says in the Blue Letter Bible. It speaks about savage times, okay? Critical times that are hard to deal with. Being stuck in darkness is hard to deal with. Like I said, the stove goes out, the refrigerator goes out. That results to famine. Our people, particularly the Israelites, the biblical Israelites, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, so-called Mexicans, so-called Cubans, so-called Haitians, so-called Jamaicans, okay? They don't prepare or prep for the coming days that are at hand that we're in. So with that being said, they go out and buy foods that expire within a matter of days or weeks, man. They don't get non-perishable items. All right? Real quick, it's that word perilous. All right? It says full of danger or at risk, exposed to imminent risk of disaster or ruin. Now watch this. From the article that I have from MSN.com, from morning overview, it says power grid alert. 5 states face blackout risk in 2026, expert warns. And on another graph that I have, from Memphis to let me just show you. The whole South, I'm gonna just say it like that. The whole South, all right? Particularly, you know, down here in the deep South, it don't take much for a blackout to happen. You know, it can be hot outside, or just Esau, the so-called white man, and just pull the plug on a regular day, and the whole neighborhood is in utter darkness. Then they send you a text message saying, all right, well, the power will be back on, all right, at 11 o'clock. And here it is, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be back on at 11 o'clock p.m. Then it gets up to that point in time of, you know, 10:30. Then they relapse it again. Say, well, it'll be back on at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, there it is again, latter time, last days, shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. All you Edom, you so-called white people, you Edomites, you know, all nations, you Israelites, all right, who walking in pride, don't think shit is going to hit the fan, and when it happens, then you want to cry out. Now, ultimately, we know they are geoengineering the weather, all right, weather modification, all right, the HARP system, okay. That's fine. You know, people are all on the internet saying this is not normal because snow actually sticks to the trees when it does snow. So it's, yeah, of course, it's genetically modified snow. Now you're starting to get the picture that the so-called white man is the problem in the earth. He's the cancer in the earth. He's destroying the earth, as it says in the Bible. All right. Let me see where that graph is at. All right. Here it is. All right. You can see for yourself. Hundreds, thousands without power. See it right there, man. Let me run them down. Houston, Texas. Slocky. The state of Texas. 130,000 without power. Arkansas. 5,000 without power. Oklahoma, 1,000 without power. Louisiana, where I'm at, 110,000 without power. Mississippi, 120,000 without power. Alabama, 9,000 without power. Georgia, 15,000. Florida, 1,000. Ooh. Memphis, Tennessee, 240,000 without power. And then it goes, I'm not going to read them all. It goes all the way up the southeastern border, man. But this is great miseries that are happening. And this is only January. First month in. And it feels like a whole year. All right? The article says America's power grid is entering 2026. And the more they ramp up these data centers like they're building for AI, for artificial intelligence, it's going to weaken more. The grid is already weak as it is. Now you got a dark, let me say this too. You got a dark winter that's happening right now. That's what I'm entitled the video. Dark winter. Got a dark winter that's happening right now. And this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be accompanied by another round 2 of Arctic blast. Round 2 is coming this weekend. All right, more snow. All right, more ice, freezing rain. All right, blackouts, outages. Okay, yeah, man. Okay, this is where we at, man. Matter of fact, get a quick precept. All right, let's go to the book of Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and verse, 20 and 21. It says, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. And I'm going to do a video on that because I seen the brother Jim S. Overdrive do a video on this about imagine being in this type of climate, quote unquote climate weather, in the time of Jacob's trouble. Minus, you look up there in Minnesota with all the hell that's breaking loose up there, okay? People are out there on the streets. But imagine being there for months. Negative 0 below weather. Negative 30 below weather, 30 degrees. Negative 50 degrees. Just being so cold that it's down to the bone gristle in the body. It's so damn cold you can't even eat. Matthew 24 and 19. It says, Salaki, verse 20. Well, let me read 19. It says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Imagine having a newborn baby, and you stuck in total blackness in darkness for months. The grid is down. What's going to happen to that woman, to that child, to the father? Well, the wife is looking at the husband like, what are you going to do? You're the head of household. We need to do something. Your baby over here crying. He or she needs milk. Where the next meal going to come from? This happened in 70 AD. The Lord finna do it at an intensified rate in this time, because this is the end, the very end. This is it, man. This is how it ends. One of my favorite movies also from with Forrest Whitaker. This is how it ends. Watch that. The grid went down in that movie. The guy was on the phone with Forrest Whitaker's daughter. You know, she was in LA. I think he was somewhere on the East Coast or in the South somewhere. Might have been Miami or whatever. And she was on the West Coast. And he was on the phone with her. She was asking him, when you gonna catch a flight and come out here and see me and be together with me. And out of nowhere, the phone got the staticking, and she was on the other receiving end saying something bad has happened. And then the phone went zoop. Imagine that. Watch the movie Leave the World Behind. But what I'm alluding to is, imagine all of those type of movies happening in freezing temperatures. Because it was hot, it was pretty much warm on that movie, Leave the World Behind, and on the movie, This Is How It Ends. But imagine bone chilling, freezing temperatures, and then the grid just completely goes dark. See, particularly down south, people can survive more when it's hot because we're accumulated to that scorching heat. So even in 40-degree weather, 30-degree weather, the streets be empty, man. Of course, you got cars that are riding out there, but the streets are pretty much empty. Everybody's in the home. Energy prices are skyrocketing, going up. Electric bills, utility bills are skyrocketing due to people trying to stay warm. Matthew 24 and verse 20, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Because the Sabbath day is a day of rest. Imagine having to get off the grid, all right, in survival mode on the Sabbath day. Verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation. That's what I want to get right there. Great tribulation. The Bible speaks of a time, which is great tribulation and Jacob's trouble is the same thing. Matthew 24 and verse 21 and Jeremiah 30 and 7 is the same thing. The great tribulation is the day being great in Jeremiah 30 and 7. It's the same thing. Whenever the Lord wants to emphasize something and put a stamp on it, he always puts the word great in front of it. And it'll be a time unlike none other. And we're in those times as of the current date, January 28th, 2026. And it's the hopeful year of the apostates, the hopeful year of bug outs, sellouts, spies, agents, etc. And and the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. The previous years that the beloved Elder Pastor Tahar coined those years is being wrapped up all in one right now. We're hastening the day of our Lord's return. And it's here. Oh, let me get that, man. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. What is that in, I think that's in Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. It says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. All the tough guys, even in an event of a freezing temperature or climate, and no, it's not no damn global warming. I don't give a damn what Al Gore said or what Donald Trump is saying. No, it's the so-called white man who's dropping that HARP system over all, particularly 50 to 60% of America, to have one part of the earth, state and cities warm while the other part freezes. So you look at it on the map, you see a lot of parts that are red, which means it's warm, and then the other half is blue, which means it's freezing cold. The so-called white man has to go. That's why King David prophesied about casting him down, O Lord. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. One of the sword that the so-called white man has is geoengineering the weather, controlling the weather, in superpowering up hurricanes. Now you went from a category 5, which is the ultimate highest, to what? A category 6. Having tornadoes, F5s happen. I can go on with that, man, but I'm not finna be too long because I gotta get in the conference call and do this conference call, lead the way in that. It says America's power grid is entering 2026 with mounting stress, and experts warn that a handful of states face the sharpest blackout risk if extreme weather hits. And it's happening, all right? With demand climbing faster than new capacity and winter storms already exposing weak links, the threat is no longer theoretical. I look at 5 states that, based on current reliability warnings and regional vulnerabilities, are most likely to face disruptive outages in the year ahead. So you're gonna go from this dark, cold, blistering winter to a scorching hot summer. Isaiah 29:6. That's a precept for what I just said. You're gonna look that up. All right. You can go get this article on your own. It has Texas on here. All right. What are some of the other states? Louisiana. All right. Mississippi. All right. Alabama. All right. Tennessee. All right. It's the name. It's 5 states right there. And I showed you the graph. All right. At the interlude of the video, man. Let me show you again. All right. There you go right there, man. All right. So each region, where it be the West Coast, the Midwest, East, Southern, the Lord gonna, hit them with different plagues. Lord's diverse, he like different things. But even in this time, the Bible speaks about earthquakes happening in diverse places. The Lord will have shit happening, the same thing happening all over. Fucking hurricanes going up toward the West Coast. This is it, man. This is how it ends. So with that, I hope this quick lesson was very edifying. All right. A dark winter is here. The grid is low. Power grid, that is. More widespread outages will occur. Giving all infinite honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and blessing to the Lord's hopefully elect who continue to push this ministry wherever they have been scattered in these last days. To you, Akim, I say, Abba, Abal, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom, Akim, Shalom.